On 14 September 2020, a Dalit girl was allegedly gang raped by four upper caste men in Hathras district, Uttar Pradesh, India. The victim was dragged away by dupatta around her neck, injuring her spinal cord in the process. The Dalit girl was allegedly gang raped by four men from the Thakur caste. She was left paralyzed with severe spinal cord injury, which doctors earlier said could have been permanently damaged. After fighting for her life for 2 weeks, she died in a Delhi hospital. The victim's brother claimed that no arrests were made in the first 10 days after the incident took place. The autopsy noted that the victim died by injury to the cervical spine by blunt force trauma, and the attempts to strangle her was not the cause of the death. The final post-mortem report also refers to an old tears in private parts but no rape. After her death, the victim was forcibly cremated by the police without the consent of her family, a claim denied by the police. When the news initially broke out through social media, Agra Police, Hathras District Magistrate, and UP's Information and Public Relations called it a fake news. Later, a senior UP police officer claimed that no sperm was found in the samples as per forensic report, and that some people had twisted the incident to stir a caste-based tension. The case and its subsequent handling has received widespread media attention and condemnation from across the country, and was the subject of protests against Yogi Adityanath's government by activists and the opposition. SSP Vikrant Vir had transferred the SHO of Chandapa police station to the police lines for failing to promptly act in the case. The state government, Yogi Adityanath, and district administration has announced a compensation of 25 lakhs to the victim's family and a junior assistant job for a family member. And apart from this, a house has been allocated to the family in Hathras under State Urban Development Agency scheme. So, is this like, okay, fine, we're sorry your daughter died, but you can have this? This is not a compensation, this is literally a bribe. It's like, keep quiet, please keep quiet. So, coming back, Hathras police have arrested the four accused Sandeep, Ramu, Lavkush, and Ravi on charges of attempt to murder and gang rape and attempt to killing and scheduled caste and scheduled tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. One of the accused, Ravi, and his father had been arrested 15 to 20 years back for allegedly assaulting the victim's grandfather. Former Congress President Rahul Gandhi and General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi were accosted and detained by the police in the state of Uttar Pradesh as they attempted to make their way to the village of the victim on foot after their vehicles had been stopped by officers on the motorway. The chairperson of National Commission for Women said, "We will be there to help her family to control such incidents. We need to change the mindset of the society." Smriti Irani, Minister for Women and Development of Children in India, said in an UA meet, India recognizes centrality of women empowerment in developmental agenda. This comes amidst massive social media uproar that important representatives of government are not speaking up enough on the Hathras rape case. The rape has sent a shocker across the country, with people questioning the role of media and why it woke up so late. Social media erupted with questions on why India's daughters face this again and again. UP's crime rate is one of the highest in the country. According to National Crime Bureau, 12 rapes a day are reported. And according to experts, many cases still go unreported as rape survivors or the families don't register complaints. The National Human Rights Commission has shown concern over the behavior of police in Uttar Pradesh and released a detailed statement seeking investigation. The commission has sent notices to the Chief Secretary of the state government and the Director General of Police of Uttar Pradesh as well. The commission's open court has gone through contents of the media reports which are very painful. A young woman belonging to SC community has been subjected to sexual harassment and brutality. It is apparent that the police was not able to take timely action to trace and save the victim girl, due to which the young woman could not be saved from being subjected to grave cruelty. The way that the perpetrators have acted shows that they have no fear of law in their mind. The family has suffered an irrevocable loss. A young and a precious human life has been lost. End quote. These have been the facts of the case, or should I say contradicting facts, because the family has something else to say, the police has something else to say. The law is clear on how a state must respond to such cases. Let's discuss that. As soon as such a report comes under the eye of the UP police, a first information report FIR must be immediately lodged, and if the victim needs hospitalization, then the requirements of medico legal case such as this, the preservation of clothing, the recording of injuries can be done at the hospital. A statement as to the events under section 164 of the Code of Criminal Procedure of the survivor in the presence of a magistrate must be ensured by the police. It is expected that the police arrange for the magistrate to be taken to the hospital. Finally, if the survivor of the rape should pass away, then the body should be handed over to her family after post-mortem analysis. This is the given procedure, but of course, the way the UP police handled it is quite baffling. Journalist Tanushri Pandey, in her first person account, captures the police telling the victim's family that mistakes have been made, galtiyan hui hai, but it's time to move on, and the family members locked themselves in their home in fear while the police proceeded to cremate the victim without their permission. The police then tried to prevent the press from taking any pictures or recording of their actions. Then coming to the police claiming that no sperm was found. Okay, so reports indicate that the FSL samples were taken days after the events, making it impossible for bodily fluids like sperm to be found. However, the amendments to our rape law mandate that the only penetration is required to establish rape or gang rape and not the presence of sperm. Further, the nature of injuries, repeated statements by the victim make the gang rape clear. Allahabad High Court on October 1, 2020, shaken by the course of events, has taken a sui motu conjugans of the events in right to descent and dignified last rites cremation. The judges point to the case that the law mandates that the right to dignity and fair treatment is available to all in life and death. A decade ago, they had declared that the right to life and dignity includes the right of a deceased to have her body treated with respect, subject to her tradition, culture, and religion practiced. India's rape culture is strengthened by the blatant disregard for a woman's right to live, think, or move. Tolerance of behaviors of victimization and victim blaming facilitates the environment for rape culture. Everyday instances of casual sexism, like moral policing of women, sexist school dress codes for young girls, or use of slurs, further the same. Rape culture includes a removal of autonomy that women have over their bodies, and by normalizing acts of grouping, sexual harassment, and sexual coercion. Nature of such a culture in India has to be viewed through the lens of intersectionality. Given that the Indian patriarchy is Brahminical in nature and interacts with the systemic biases of the society, similarly, the rape culture in India also exists within the same setting. As communities which have been historically marginalized or discriminated against due to religion, caste, orientation, gender identity, disability, face acts of sexual violence as tools of oppression. Rape culture for said communities is placed within the power dynamics and social hierarchies. Hence, individuals are subjected to sexual violence as an act of oppression for their gender and as an instrument of persecution of their caste, tribal, or religious identities. After Hathras comes Balrampur, Uttar Pradesh. Previously unknown on the map of India, it has now become the central to rape conversations across the country. A young Dalit woman raped by two men was sent back home in a critical condition in an auto rickshaw. The Balrampur and Hathras gang rape cases opened up wounds which were inflicted by the Nirbhaya case. In both cases, the girls were raped from Dalit community. Society's mindset reflects in both cases where men are taught to believe that the Dalits are inferior to them. This makes them think that it is okay to rape a Dalit girl because she is less human than them. This is after 7 decades of independence, and then people ask why reservations exist. This is exactly why they exist. Our constitution makers thought that the education followed by financial independence would empower these communities enough to be considered as equals. But I guess money doesn't change mindsets, and moreover, there are many people who still don't have access to these benefits. And it's not just caste and community which plays a role, it's just the basic predation by males over females that is completely consuming the human in them. It is sad, it is depressing. I don't understand how India is going to tackle this problem with such a fickle minded assortment of politicians and security officials. Jai Hind, please make India better. Please do your part in, you know, discouraging all these kinds of stupid mindsets. Thank you so much. This has been the No Nonsense, and have a great day, I suppose.